Problem 68, identify the slope and y-intercept of the equation x minus 3y equals negative 6. Alright, so we have an equation in standard form. What we need to do first is put it in slope-intercept form. So y's all on one side, or just y actually, everything else on the other side. So step one, if I got standard form, I'm going to take x, put it to the left. So all I have to do is just make the x negative and then stick negative x on the right side. I hope I didn't call that the left side earlier. I do that a lot. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to put this on the right side. So I got the x over here on the left side. I subtract x from both sides, and this is what I end up with. Okay, here you need to be very careful because we're still not done. This is not slope-intercept form. Y has to be completely isolated, all alone by itself. So I have to do another inverse operation. The opposite of times negative 3 is divide negative 3. And I have to divide everything by negative 3. And here is where I need to be careful because signs are going to start changing. This will just be y now. But negative x divided by negative 3, that becomes positive x over 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 becomes positive 2. So now I've got it in slope-intercept form, but it might help to rewrite this part of it right here. Because what is this slope? Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. But what is m? Well, m is kind of hard to see when I write it like this, but if I rewrite it, which is what I need to do, I think, like this, now I can clearly see what m is supposed to be. Oh, m is supposed to be 1/3. There's the slope. Remember, this it gives me the y-coordinate of the y-intercept, so the y-intercept is going to be 0, 2. Remember, the x-coordinate of the y-intercept is always 0. So I don't need to do any math for that. I just need to remember the x-coordinate for y-intercept, always 0. Okay, so there's problem 68. Let me move on to problem 70, where I'm not going to be asked to find the slope, but I'm given another equation in standard form. And now what I'm being asked to do is to find the x and y intercepts. So you don't really need to change this into slope-intercept form to do this. You can leave it in standard form. You just have to remember that for an x-intercept, the y is always 0. And then for the y-intercept, the x is always 0. I might not know what the y is yet, or I know what the x is yet, but I know for the x-intercept, I know the y has got to be 0. So what I do now is, using this information, I take the 0 and substitute it in for y. I'm looking for the x-intercept. I know the y of the x-intercept is always 0. So I can rewrite this equation now. I can say that this is like 6x plus 15 times 0 equals 60. And 15 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. So it just goes away. And now I'm left with 6x equals 60, which means x is going to be 10. So the x-intercept is going to be 10, 0. And now to find the y-intercept, I use this information. Like, I know that x is always 0 for the y-intercept. Okay, so what I'm going to do is plug in 0 for x here. So I got 6 times 0 plus 15y equals 60. Again, 6 times 0 is just 0, so I get 15y is 60. Y is going to equal 4. So the y-intercept is 0, 4. That's how you find it. If you get an equation in standard form and you're looking for x and y intercepts, you need to remember this little bit right here. Okay, next we've got a graphing problem. We are going to try to graph the equation, or graph the linear equation 2x plus 4y equals 28. Okay, here you have a couple of options for graphing. What I'm going to go ahead and do is just take this and put it into slope-intercept form. So like the first problem we did, I got to get y all by itself, and the first step is the same. I just take these two x's on the left and I put them on the right, and I can do that if I switch the sign. So I took these two x's that were on the left side, I subtracted them, put them on the right side. And then I got plus 28 here. Now I need to get y all by itself, so you divide everything by 4. Fortunately this time I'm dividing by a positive 4, so I don't have to worry about the signs as much. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2 over 4x. Well, what's negative 2 over 4? That is negative 1/2 x, right? And then 28 divided by 4 is 7. So I want to translate this to a graph, and it's really easy to graph this now that I have an equation in slope-intercept form. This is the beauty of slope-intercept form. If you have an equation in this form, you don't have to do any calculating. You just look at the y-intercept, which is going to be 0, 7, right? So I start here at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the y-intercept. I look at the slope. Remember, slope is rise over run, so I'm going to go down 1, since it's negative, over 2. Down 1 over 2. And I can keep doing that, by the way. I mean, you don't have to do it, but you can keep just going down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, and every time you'll get to a point in the graph. But 2 points is technically enough. Whoops, just hit my camera. And so now I'm just going to take my handy-dandy protractor here. There's my line. I didn't actually do a very good job with that line because that should be going through that point, but you get the idea. That's how you would graph that one. All right. Next one I want to look at is 78, where you're given this problem. You're told that you have a point, negative 12, and negative 12, negative 3. This is 1 point. And you have a slope of 5 over 6. And what you're being asked to do now is find the equation. So we're working kind of backwards. If I have the slope and I have a point, can I find the equation? We haven't done one like this in class yet, so I think this might look strange at first. So you need to remember the slope-intercept form of a line. You need to put this in your memory bank. Slope-intercept form. Learn it, learn it, learn it, learn it. Y equals mx plus b is something you need to memorize. Okay, I'm told what m is. I'm told that m is 5 over 6. Okay, so that means y equals, and I've got 5 over 6 x plus b. That's the easy part. The hard part is finding out what b is. Now, how can I find out what b is? Well, here's what I can do. I know the point negative 12, negative 3 is on the line, right? This is an x coordinate. This is a y coordinate, right? So what I can do now is make a substitution. I can plug in negative 3 for y here, and then I can plug in negative 12 for x, and I can use that to solve for b using algebra, right? So here again, this still trips some people up, but remember, when you're multiplying by negative 12, you can divide and then multiply. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. You can do it. You can do it. Divide, multiply. Divide, multiply. Then to solve for b, I just add 10, right, to both sides. So b is going to be 7. And that means the final answer is going to be y equals 5 over 6x plus 7. That's going to be the final answer. All right. I think those are the main ones I wanted to get through to show you how to do today. Like I said, I'm going to give out the answer key, and so you'll have the answers to all the problems, but that's just a quick recap of how to do those ones.